Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, March 12th, just fucking around back there. I hope everybody is doing well in the world today. It is Wednesday. It's a beautiful, super hot day here in Wisconsin. It's like 74 degrees or something crazy like that. And it was like 8 degrees the other morning, so to give you an idea. Anyways, I hope everybody is doing well out in the world tonight. We had a pretty busy day today with meetings and so on and so forth. I was going to skip tonight's live stream because I barely slept last night, but then all of a sudden I called it off, and then I was like, wait, so now I can't sleep though, so I may as well do it anyways, right? So welcome to StudentLoanJustice.org. Hope everybody's doing well out there in the world. I'm going to keep tonight's live stream just exceedingly short. The most important thing I have for you today is that we continue to meet with legislators across the country, and we continue to need to meet with your legislators. So you have one House rep and you have 2 senators, and we need you to call your House rep and get us into a meeting with their judiciary staffer. Particularly if they're Republican, but if they're not, that's okay too. So please do that and keep us in the loop, if you would, please. My email is Alan, ALAN, at studentloanjustice.org. My phone number is 202-594-1120. Student Loan Justice, obviously, is who we are. And just tell try and either request a meeting online on their website, or just pick up the phone and just call them and tell them you want to meet with their judiciary staffer and talk about student loans. And in particular, you want to talk about student loans and bankruptcy. So if you're new to the group, you're probably thinking to yourself, I don't want to file for bankruptcy on my student loans. Well, what do you know? Nobody on this group wants to file for bankruptcy on their student loans. We've been doing this for 18 years, ladies and gentlemen, and I can tell you that unless and until we get the constitutionally enshrined right of bankruptcy returned to us as it exists for all other loans, we will never see anything meaningful from Joe Biden or whoever the next president may be. That's kind of the way this works. So whether you would ever or never file for bankruptcy is not important. We've got to get the leverage of bankruptcy back if we want to get anything good done. So if you want to get your loan through, I don't know, borrower defense to repayment, for example, that becomes a very easy thing. Like, soon as we get the threat of bankruptcy returned to us, they're going to have to start processing those BDR applications in good faith. Maybe you want to break on your interest. Well, as soon as we get the threat of bankruptcy back on our side, well, all of a sudden, the Department of Education has to negotiate in good faith. And so that will happen. Maybe you want your loans canceled, like I think probably 100% of the people here on this group. But maybe you want other things as well. But we're not going to see meaningful student loan cancellation, guys, unless and until we get the constitutionally enshrined leverage of bankruptcy returned. Now, few people should even have to file. Maybe even no one will ultimately have to file. I don't know. What I do know is that nothing good will happen for us unless and until we get the threat of bankruptcy restored as it exists for all other loans, ladies and gentlemen. I say that every night. I've said it so many times. I feel like I may as well be talking in my sleep right now because that's how many times I've said that nonsense. But it's very true, guys. I kid you not. I can't speak for the other groups. I don't see why. In fact, it is baffling to me why other groups aren't calling for bankruptcy. I think I have an idea, though. I think there are other groups in this universe that are trying to make a lot of money on this loan scam, and it is a scam. And actually solving this problem is the last thing that they want to do. Well, I'm here to tell you that we are nothing more than a collection of normal people. I'm a defaulted student loan borrower. The only difference between me and you is I have lived and breathed the student loan issue for 18 years now. We've been featured on 60 Minutes, and you name the news show, we've probably been on it, including very recently Fox News and The Guardian and blah, 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 blah. So we know a few things about this lending system, and most people who are new to the group, they know very little about student loans, and who can blame them? Like, if you're relatively new to the group, you probably only know that you have student loans and that they suck. And who could blame you, because they do suck and nobody wants to think about student loans. Well, we've gone through all that headache and heartache over 18 long years, ladies and gentlemen. So please benefit from our wisdom here collectively on this group. And by the way, we are we are the universe's largest, oldest, first, and only true grassroots group. We have somewhere around 1.4, maybe 1.5 million people across all of our different platforms. So that includes our petition and our Facebook group and our Twitter stuff and our email list and all those platforms. So we've got a massive muscle to flex, ladies and gentlemen. And like all the stuff that you see about student loan cancellation by executive order today, that all originated on this group. I kid you not. We were the first group to publicly call, the first example of any media that I think you'll ever find discussing the question of whether or not the president can cancel loans by executive order. That started with us in a very seminal interview that we did in August 2019 in Vice News. And it was our petition that really rocked that whole concept into the public conversation. But guys, I'm here to tell you, you may as well not even worry about loan cancellation right now. The Supreme Court is going to do whatever they're going to do. And frankly, we almost don't care one way or the other. The president has the power to cancel loans, and the Supreme Court case is not going to weigh in on that question. And so it's just not that important. And if you have $10,000 or less, then yeah, it's pretty important to you. Most people in our group don't have anywhere close to $10,000 or even $20,000. Most people on our group have well over $100,000 in student loan debt. I would venture to guess. So whichever way that Supreme Court case goes, guys, it doesn't stop. It doesn't change the North Star of this group, which is that we have got to get the leverage of bankruptcy returned, whether you would ever or never file. So I hope that's clear. I'm going to save my breath, but I'm certainly here to answer any questions, comments, editorial opinions, or otherwise that you might have. So we're meeting with legislators, ladies and gentlemen. We've met with like 2 legislators in the past 2 days. We may possibly meet with another one tomorrow. We'll see. We need to be meeting with members of Congress. Literally, I mean, doing like 3 meetings a day would not be too many. You know, there's 535 senators and members of Congress in the entire Congress. It's a lot of people. And, you know, we could do one a day and it would take us over a year. It would take us closer to 2 years, I think, to, it would take us a year and a half to meet with every sitting member of Congress if we did one a day. And I don't think we have that kind of time, guys. We need to be doing 2 to 3 of these every single day, quite frankly. And so I'd say start with your House rep, and then maybe move along to your senators. And remember all the stuff that I said earlier. Rewind this video to get all my contact info. Tell them you want to bring me on to the talk. I can do all the talking. It's kind of what I do. I'm really good at it. So if you set them up, we'll gladly knock them down. But obviously, if you want to talk, if you want to do the presentation, that is absolutely perfect. In fact, that's even better. Most people don't feel comfortable talking about this topic because they just don't know enough about it to really answer all the questions, etc. So yeah, if you set them up, we will gladly come in and knock them down. You pick the fight, we will throw the punches. And this is a battle, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake, this is a fight that we are in. There are some very bad people that are aligned against us. Now we can very easily overwhelm them with nothing more than our sheer numbers, including just the people on this group, quite frankly. But that only happens when you sitting there make it happen. This group here is a working, fighting group. if you want to get entertained and you want to sit back and eat popcorn and you want to just sort of kick back and watch someone else fight to solve this problem for you, well, there are any number of other groups on the internet where you can go, and I'm sure they'll be very glad to give you a seat. They'll probably even give you popcorn, and they will very gladly let you sit on your ass while they dance and shuck and jive. And oh, by the way, here, talk to this guy. He's a debt coach. He can probably help you. You may want to consolidate your loans. Here, sign here. Hey, why don't you rehabilitate your loans? Yeah, we can help you with that too. Or hey, I can help you with student loan refinances. Yeah, these people are trying to make money off of your ass. That's what they do. And I'm talking about like student debt crisis in particular, but guys, if there was another group out there actually fighting this battle as it actually needed to be fought, I wouldn't be doing this, but there isn't, because it's this group right here. I kid you not. Please Google us if you have any doubts. And if you're new to the group, you can see all the stuff that we've done, on all the news that we've broken, all the articles that we've written, all the research that we've done. Which is really kind of our number one stock in trade, or whatever you want to call it. But this is not a watch it happen movement here, guys. This is a make it happen struggle, and it is a struggle. And whether you acknowledge it or not, it is your struggle. It is your struggle. These are your loans, and this is your problem. And having done this for 18 years, I can promise you that as long as you sit there and do nothing, absolutely nothing good will happen for us. So we've got just a massive muscle to flex, guys. Huge muscle. And it does us no good if we don't flex it. And that's the truest thing that I'm going to tell you tonight. So yeah, we're meeting. And let me just say maybe a couple of pointers. If you're talking to Republicans, and you're like trying to get a meeting set up on the phone, don't talk about student loan cancellation. Just don't, because they're just not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. Talk about bankruptcy. In fact, I would say that's probably a good good advice for all members of Congress. We can tell Republicans all day long to join Joe Biden in supporting loan cancellation, and guys, it just politically, I don't see it happening, dudes. Maybe at some point it will become inevitable. When we get the leverage of bankruptcy returned, they're going to have to cancel loans very broadly, very meaningfully, maybe even totally. Who knows? I don't know. What I do know is that nothing as good is going to happen unless and until we get bankruptcy back. So we're a fiercely nonpartisan group, by the way. We can't stand either party. And so, when I talk to Republicans, I tell the truth no matter what I do. But when I talk to Republicans, I tend to emphasize the fact, and it is a fact, that the Democrats betrayed us last congressional session. That's true. We had a great bill that could have sailed through the Senate, could have sailed through the House. It was bipartisan. It would have passed with flying colors. And at the very last minute, the Democrats decided, they made a conscious decision to abandon the legislation. And that hurt a lot of people. It hurt us. And shame on them for that. As far as I'm concerned, the door is wide open for the Republicans to quit being evil on this issue, and they are. The Republicans could get this sucker passed through the House, because now we have a Republican House. They could get this thing passed through the House like that, no problem whatsoever. And it would behoove them to do so. Many conservatives have joined us over the past 18 years, to where the Federalist Society, the Cato Institute, people from the Cato Institute, people from George Mason University, people from the National Review, many, many, many conservatives agree with us, including Jerome Powell, the pretty conservative chairman of the Federal Reserve. They all agree with us. Bankruptcy has got to be returned to student loans. The founding fathers called for uniform bankruptcy laws in the Constitution. So we've got a very strong argument to make, guys. And I hope that you will kind of stick with talking about bankruptcy as I said, it does us you do yourself no favors in talking to Republicans and talking about student loan cancellation. It's just non-starter. And honestly, dudes, it kind of doesn't even do us any good to tell Joe Biden to cancel student loans, because Joe Biden has already done what he's going to do. And that is a lame, feckless, probably designed to fail, emergency status only, nonsensical cancellation that doesn't help the people who are hurt worse by these loans. And that's all he intends to ever do. Certainly in this first term as president. He may make some campaign promises like he did in 2020, right before the next election, if he runs, and say, yeah, I want to cancel some more loans now. And then as long as bankruptcy remains gone, we're going to get the same old bullshit that we've already gotten. And there will be a new lawsuit, and it'll be challenging this other congressionally given power that the president and secretary unambiguously have to cancel student loans. But guys, we don't want to go there. We're getting too old for this shit. Yeah. We want to get this done. And the quickest, easiest, most efficient way to solve the student loan problem, which is your problem, is to simply get the leverage of bankruptcy returned to the loans as it exists for all other debt. Unless and until that happens, you may as well be running on a hamster wheel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not into that. I'm ready to be done with these loans. I'm ready to move on with my life. Are you not also? I think you are. I think if you're watching me, you probably had these loans for more than 5-10 years at a minimum. I know a lot of people have had these loans for many, many decades at this point. So, okay, I'm looking for your comments right now. Quick announcement. If you borrowed more than you've repaid and you still owe more than you've repaid and you're willing to talk to, I'd say, good media, this is a good news media company that I like. And we've worked with in the past, actually. We've worked with almost all of them, but this is one that I particularly like. If you're willing to be interviewed, let me know. PM me, find me on Facebook, email. You can rewind this video, get my email address, Alan, A-L-A, well, I'll tell you now, Alan, A-L-A-N, at studentloanjustice.org. And give me the basic facts, how much you borrowed, how much you've repaid, other stuff you feel that's important, how much you still owe, just the basic facts, and I'm happy to forward them along to this really surprisingly good reporter. So, okay, I can now see your comments. Not 100% that I'm going to be able to see them in a minute because Facebook is so weird. But hey, I see Michael Cheney's really surprisingly good reporter. Michael Cheney, the fearless truck driver from Ohio, who was featured, I think, in a cover story in the New York Times not too long ago. Was that last summer? Just a solid guy. Yeah, I'm having trouble sleeping too, Michael. I don't know if I told you or not, but for some reason I didn't sleep barely at all last night. And so after our thing today, I was trying to sleep, but still can't sleep. So go figure. So hey, Joanna Kearns from Florida is with us tonight. Joanna says, again, I did a lot for the cause today. I don't doubt that, Joanna. You know, Joanna does our daily actions every single day, like religiously. And I appreciate that hugely. In fact, if you forget everything that I say today, and particularly if you're new to the group, you can always go to our website, studentloanjustice.org, and almost every day, like at least 4 days a week, sometimes more, we do daily actions, and they're very quick. You have to have a Twitter account. But they go very quick. It's usually like retweet this and retweet that. Or maybe it'll be like send this guy an email, or maybe it's usually very, very quick. Most days you can do our daily actions in 30 seconds or less. Literally, it's that easy. Now with 1.4 million people supposedly on our group, could you imagine if everyone in Congress got 1.4, or let's say if key members of Congress got like 1.4 million phone calls in a day or in a couple of days, that would melt the switchboards of whoever we decided to come after in Congress. Could you imagine if the Twitter account of anyone, like Elon Musk, even if you want, or whoever the most famous guy on Twitter is ever, like real Donald Trump, maybe even, if we were to overwhelm him by retweeting a message like 1.4 million times, his wife would probably drag him out of bed and say, Donald, look at this, or something. Like, it would be huge, guys. You have no idea how much power how much unflexed muscle we actually have. But that's only meaningful when you pitch in, guys. This all begins with you. And nobody on this group, not Joanna, not Michael, not anyone else, can carry your weight for you. And that is the truest thing that I will tell you today. And you're not better than us, by the way. We have Harvard lawyers in this group, and we have got all strata of very intelligent, very good people. Not that Harvard people are good necessarily, but you get my point. You can't prom queen this. You got to get your own knuckles a little muddy and bloody in this battle. You're not better than us. Your reputation is no more important than anybody else's, that you can't, sully your hands. No. That's bullshit. You got to put your own work in on this group. And Joanna does that. And I love her for that. So does Michael. So does, well, I'm not going to start naming names. We've got a lot of very good people on this group. Let me just say, we've got a core muscle of many dozens of people that I see doing stuff every day. You need to join them. And I think that Joanna and Michael and others will tell you that it feels very good to fight this fight. It's cathartic. It helps you sleep at night. We don't do anything other than tell the truth. And sometimes the truth sometimes telling the truth involves making very important and sometimes famous people look stupid. But hey, guys, that just goes to show that we are on the cutting edge of this issue. And if we have to educate somebody publicly and they wind up looking bad, well, that's on them. But in the final analysis, they will thank us, because when you tell the truth and you teach people the truth, there's nothing bad about that. The truth shall set you free, as I think Jesus was the first person to say that, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, guys, that's what we're all about. If you're new to the group, again, let me just say welcome. Do our daily actions. Get us into a meeting with your House rep and both of your senators. Thanks go out to Michael, Joanna, everybody out there who's doing the hard work. This is going to be a very difficult year for us, guys. Last year, the Democrats betrayed us. The Republicans are going to do everything they can do to not do what we need them to do in the House. I guarantee you, that's just the way it goes. So it's going to be tough. This is going to be a difficult year, but I'm here to tell you guys, when even half of the people on our group are doing our daily actions, maybe even like once a week, that's still by far and away enough to get this problem, which is your problem, solved once and for all. So you and me and Joanna and Michael and everybody else can get on with our lives and maybe have some restored faith in the federal government and our Congress and maybe in our country generally, and not be depressed or suicidal and stuff like that, which I think most people would agree is needed and a good thing. Am I right? So jump on board, guys, and start rowing with us in the right direction, and we'll get there very quickly. The last thing I will say is please donate, and I should have said this earlier. Please, please, please donate if you can. We survive and thrive on very little money, guys, but right now we've got to raise money to replace the SLJ van, which has served us well, but it's dead. It's toast. The engine blew like 2 months ago, and we've got to replace it. So we've raised enough money to replace the van. We still need to raise another $1,500 to fly far away from northern Wisconsin, where the rust is and get a good unrusted replacement van. So we've got to fly down and we've got to drive it back, and we want to actually, we've got a couple of stops in between to make in for the cause of student loan justice, obviously. That has to do with Ohio. I will say nothing more than that at this point. Please donate. We can't do this without you guys, and that's always been true. So if my math is correct, I want to say that we need around 75 people to donate $20 or more, or the equivalent. So if 20 people donated $75, that would also do it. And I suck at fundraising, guys. If you can't tell, I hate doing it. I'm no good at it. So please just make this fundraising easier on me, if you would. Please, please, please. So, okay, guys, pretty good news here. We're hoping to see some pretty strong stories come out very soon. This is a war. This is a battle. It's yours and it's ours, and we've got to fight it together. And you came to the right place, and we're glad that you're here. So I'll be back. I'll probably be back tomorrow, depending on what our fearless co-leader Ed is doing. I certainly will be back on Friday. So take heart, get to work, do our daily actions, pitch in for the van, and I'll see you guys really soon. Good luck, Godspeed, and God bless everyone.